You said that you're not a developer. It's something that seems to really be a sore point with you. What do you mean when you say that, and why is it important when we're talking about sea level rise and climate change?
Well, I actually come from a family of developers. My grandfather was a developer. He ran out of beach property to sell the Yankees, so he bought a dredging company and pumped up more. My dad raked and published orange groves. Many years ago, when I came back from the Middle East, we sat on the dock at Tidal on the river there, and they were talking about how Florida had been destroyed in their lifetime. They came to the conclusion if they hadn't done it, someone else would have. It was probably a fair comment. It was that point in time I decided if I really got back in the construction business, and that was a business I was in the Middle East, in the oil industry, I would be a recycler. I restore buildings in St. Augustine. I have for 33 years now, about 150 of them older than 50 years old. So when people call me a developer, it kind of sticks in my craw, because developing to me is reaping and pillaging the land. We've had enough of that in Florida. Florida's been filling up from the bottom for 100 years. We're getting it now. Northeast Florida is getting it, and we have very little left of Florida. The Florida I remember as a kid. I'm 70 years old. I remember 60 years ago. So I'm not a developer. I'm a junk man who recycles old buildings.
You're running for seat 4 on the City Commission. Where do you see St. Augustine 50 years from now, given sea level rise?
Quite possibly underwater. One of my pet peeves is I have a company. Its tagline is building for the next 100 years. I work on buildings that are 150 years old. I'm doing one right now on the bayfront, which we've lifted up to get above the water. It was built in 1885. I take sea level rise personal, because these buildings I've been working on all these years, instead of having people living in them in 100 years, are going to possibly be navigational hazards. That should have never happened, but it's happening. And it's a big issue, it's a global issue, and any politician who doesn't believe in climate change, want to do something about it, they need not to be in office. It's that simple.
In your estimation, being a developer and somebody who knows how to build things, do you think it's, how do you save St. Augustine? First of all, do you look at dikes? Do you look at what the Dutch have done? I mean, how do you save this city, or can it be saved?
It's challenging. You know, you've probably seen an article in the newspaper a while back on me doing this underneath the building, lifting St. Augustine above the flood. Well, some buildings can be lifted, and we are lifting them. I've done 3 now so far, and get ready to do a 4th, and probably a 5th. Other buildings, like on Davis Shores, which I've been very involved in doing, putting people back in their homes, can't be lifted. So we're hardening the buildings against reasonable resistance to flood. But this is storm surge. This is not water that comes in and stays. Sea rise stays, doesn't go away. Now the problem with hardening St. Augustine, people go, put a dike around it, put locks like they've done in Europe. We're on top of coquina. Florida's on top of limestone. You build a wall around it, the water just comes up underneath. We have a problem. You don't get pumps big enough to throw the Atlantic Ocean out. Now, what do we do to stop it? Well, first thing we've got to do, we've got to put in place better energy sources, like Tidal. That inlet has a tremendous amount of flow in and out. You can generate a hell of a lot of power just off tidal flow there, and it's clean energy. It's old technology. Yes.
How would you mitigate the homeowners who will be inundated, and how do you replace the local tourism economy that will die, presumably, or drown, I should say?
Well, I'm sure there'll be a time in the future, and I won't be here to see it, and I'm kind of glad I won't, but some of you will be here to see it, where St. Augustine's economy will probably be gondola tours of what was ancient city. You know, that's pretty sad. It could happen. I don't really know. I'm a builder. I've been doing this for 50 years. I'm also almost an engineer, just never got the degree. Came very close, just went to work overseas instead. I know a lot about water. I'm also a master plumber. I know how to move water too. It's going to be a challenge to save St. Augustine. It's going to take a lot of money. It's going to take federal money. It's going to take state money. And then I don't know if the technology is available today to do it. But we did put someone on the moon. But it's going to take a mobilization like we had in World War II. This is World War III we're fighting here. This is going to take that kind of mobilization on everyone out there, and a lot of people not yet born, to turn the tide, excuse the pun, on this threat. It's huge. And it's not just ocean rise. There's population shift. All sorts of things are going to come of this.
I know you won't be around, but many coastal cities are buying out property owners in flood zones. Should that be the path that St. Augustine?
It may be. You know, it all boils down to money and education, understanding, and the will to do something, the political will to do something. Now, we live in a country of property rights. I've sat on the planning and zoning board in the city of St. Augustine for 12 years. I understand them completely. I know how it works and how it should work. You know, there are people who build on the island. Some people say, well, yeah, you build on the runway of the airport, don't complain about the jets. Well, when you build on the ocean, you take the risk of losing it. But at the end of the day, that is value, and we have to find some way, if we can, to offset the loss. I've got friends that have lost dearly. I flooded. I live on St. George Street downtown. I'm exactly 9 feet above sea level. Matthews was 8.5. My garage got wiped out. My value of my house has probably dropped by 20 or 25% just in the last year because, hey, the elephant's not in the room anymore, it's walking around. And people are starting to become aware that it's affecting real estate values. So we all have skin in the game.
Just to sum up, and I want to get to, maybe there's some questions here in the audience for all of our candidates who have remained. What's been done right and what's been done wrong regarding this issue? And
Short term or long term?
Well, since it's risen on the horizon, and what would you propose a small city like St. Augustine do going forward?
Well, I'll tell you what I'm going to do going forward. I'm going to make a lot of noise to the state and to the federal government because they have the power, they have the money, they have the wherewithal to do it. We put people on the moon. We mobilized to fight World War II. We can fix this problem. St. Augustine, there's only 13,000 of us. By the way, we get 6 million visitors a year. That's another issue. We won't talk about that right now. St. Augustine can't fix it. No small coastal city or even large coastal cities can fix this problem. This is going to take a national and international. This is a world issue. This is a NATO, this is the United Nations, this is the whole world coming together to go, okay, we got a problem. The problem is not just burning fuel, the problem is also population growth. Too many Homo sapiens. You cut the population of the Earth by 2/3, the Earth will return to an equilibrium. You'll have biodiversity, and these issues, a lot of them will disappear. And by the way, don't eat so much meat. There's a lot of methane. That's also no problem. I had to go there.
Thank you, John. We promised some questions from the audience. I don't know if we've collected any. That was the only one so far. So let me just ask, John's here, a couple of our candidates are still around. If you would like to address a question, Jason's here too. Please stand up, give your name and...
My name's Dave Rogers. I was a candidate. I entered to run for the Soil and Water Conservation District board member, and nobody ran against me, so I'm in.
Congratulations.
But I'm looking forward to working with whoever you wins on this issue. I'm passionate about it. This is the greatest threat facing humanity today. I'm a 1979 graduate of the Naval Academy, I have a degree in ocean engineering. I've spent 22 years in the Navy, 11 of them at sea. And this is going to change the world, and not in a good way, if we don't get in front of it. Every year we delay, the solution set grows smaller, and the costs grow higher. And we are way behind, and we need to get going now.
All right, thank you. John Gorman's back there too, and John's here, and Nicholas is around here somewhere. Anyone with a question? Oh, there you are. Yeah. Well, have we been talked out? Then I want to thank all of you for coming tonight. If you can pat yourself on the back for showing your commitment to civic engagement and to the environment. Thank you, John Valdes.
By the way,
joining all of the candidates here.
I want to make a little comment real quick. There's a lot of name tags on that table over there. This is probably one of the most important issues you people are going to come and talk to about. Thank you.
Thank you, John. Thank you.